and welcome to the Lady Mogul COVID Entrepreneur Summit. My name is Donyshia Boston-Hill, CEO of Keeper of the Brand Marketing and Digital Agency. We're here along with my co-host of the Lady Moguls, the one, the only, Tricia Messeroux, CEO of Toddlewood and the TMEZZ Group. Today, we're discussing the challenges of the COVID-19, how to pivot, and what's next for entrepreneurs. And we have an amazing lineup of ladies here with us today. And first, we're going to start off by having Tricia tell us a little bit about the purpose of Lady Moguls and why we're coming together today.
So as I'm sure you all know or can assume, myself and Donyshia, we're entrepreneurs. We do come from a more corporate background, working for big, giant, mega companies, and decided to venture off and go on our own and do our own thing and be our own bosses. And with being a boss, you know, your destiny and your drive is to be just that, a mogul. So we put together a Facebook page, and what we want to do with that page is really, you know, share ideas, share thoughts, celebrate each other, inspire each other, and, you know, watch everyone build as women entrepreneurs and watch everybody build their empire, you know? So I'm really happy that we have this panel here so we can start talking about what's going on here today and how this COVID-19 is affecting the Lady Moguls and the potential Lady Moguls. But, you know, there's a silver lining, there's an answer to everything. So we're just going to dive right in. I want to introduce our panelists today and have them talk a little bit something about themselves. So first we have Ms. Vera Moore. She's the CEO of Vera Moore Cosmetics. Then we have Charlane Brown Esq. She's an attorney. She owns Legalnista. Dr. Michele Reed. She's Fit Doc. And then we have Jamie Ralliford, CEO of Bold and Boss Boutique. So let's just jump right in. So Vera, I'm going to put you on the spot first. So,
of course.
That's fun. Put you on the spot first. Why don't you tell everybody what you do? I mean, I'm sure they already know, Vera Moore Cosmetics. Tell them a little bit about your story and what's going on with the company right now.
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for having me on your show, Denise and Tricia. My name is Vera Moore, President and CEO of Vera Moore Cosmetics. We wholesale throughout the national and international market, and my company is 40 years young. We started off 40 years old. I integrated Green Acres Mall, the first Black tenant in history of Green Acres Mall. We were there for 25 years. And then we did some franchising, and then we went into Dwayne Reed stores. Fast forward.
Fantastic.
And that's where we are now.
And that's where you are right now. All right.
Yeah.
So let's switch over to Dr. Michele Reed, Miss Fit Doc.
Well, first of all, I want to thank both of you for having me on your platform. I look forward to us doing many, many events together. As a family practice physician, I realize it's so important that we take care of our health. So I like to say that we are developing healthy Lady Moguls. That's our mission. Because if we're healthy, we can do everything possible that we need to do. So I started my practice not 40 years old, but not 40 years ago either, but 18. I just celebrated my 18th anniversary of MS Family Medicine Healthcare.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. We didn't get a chance to have a big party because what was going on was COVID-19 at the time. So I do have two locations. One is in Rosedale, Queens, and that's the original location that we started at because I wanted to work in the underserved area. And then I branched out and opened my second location a couple of years after the first, and that one is in Garden City, New York. And from just being in the community, being involved, I'm also a school district physician for 3 schools, Roosevelt, Hempstead, and Malvern, my alma mater. I decided, you know what, let's take it another step. And since I like to exercise, do marathons, you know what, maybe I should develop a brand. So out of that, we developed Fit Doc Total Wellness, LLC, who sponsors retreats in Montego Bay for the past 2 years. But we're really trying to get everyone to be healthy, mentally, physically, spiritually, and sexually. So Fit Doc Michele Reed is coming for you in your neighborhood.
Ooh, love it. Welcome. All right, let's switch over to Jamie.
Good afternoon, and thank you again for having me. Super excited to be a part of the panel. I'm Jamie Ralliford, also known as Miss Chu the DJ, CEO of Bold & Boss Premium Hair Collection and Style. We're an online and retail boutique specializing in high-end human hair extensions, custom wigs for women suffering from hair loss, and stylish clothing pieces for women.
Fantastic. I have quite a few of her pieces. Charlane.
Hello, ladies. So I'm Charlane Brown. I am the Legalnista, and I want to make sure that everyone is legally fit. This is my actual second/third career. Started a career in law enforcement, and while in law enforcement, I went to law school and I became an attorney. So I turned my side hustle into my full-time hustle, into my passion. And so became an attorney in private practice. And one of the things I realized is that I had a passion for working with small businesses. But what I realized was that small businesses don't necessarily have the capital to be able to afford an attorney, but small businesses need attorneys more than any other group in their formative stages. So I worked to create affordable solutions for small businesses. And I like working with small businesses and realized that in addition to them needing the legal foundation and structure, that they need legal coaching, legal and business coaching along the way. So what I offer is legal forms, corporate formation services, and business coaching.
Awesome, awesome. So I'll just jump in. My name is Tricia Messeroux of Toddlewood and the TMEZZ Creative Group. So I started in the world of advertising. My background is 18 years of advertising at the global advertising firms, and I found myself traveling a lot. And for the moms of the world who may be experiencing what I think you can relate in that, you know, there was a time where I realized that when my daughter was 3 years old, I was living out of a suitcase. So I needed to make changes in my life. I literally needed to make sure that I didn't miss those precious moments. And I had to reinvent myself. So I became a photographer, which I loved creativity. I studied creative photography and videography. And I started Toddlewood. And Toddlewood just started off with a very small idea and turned into mega brands. And that's where it is today. And I love advertising and just doing things creatively. And so the TMEZZ Creative Group is a marketing agency, but more on the creative side in terms of developing video content and photography and ads and things like that.
You are definitely making it happen. So we're so happy to have you leading Lady Moguls in our entire vision here. So everyone, I'm Donyshia Boston-Hill. I'm CEO of Keeper of the Brand Marketing and Digital Agency, and I started my agency almost 6 years ago. I found myself and going through a major merger in radio. I spent over 20 years in radio, entertainment, sports, working for major brands and producing events from 500 people to 1,000 to 55,000. And now with our company, we produce several events with 450,000 people and beyond. So we focus on luxury events, but also entertainment and media events. So this is really been a learning process as we go through COVID now. Last year, I went through the government shutdown. So it's something new as an entrepreneur. And you really have to dig within yourself to say, okay, this is right for me. How do I keep moving forward? And there's always something or a voice that says, you got this. So sometimes that voice is coming from a spiritual being. Sometimes that voice is coming from, women on this platform, other lady moguls that are saying, hey, we got you. It's all about a tribe. So I just want to jump right over to Vera and talk about, a little bit of the challenges you're facing now from a cosmetics company going into retail, working with some retailers. Can you tell us just a little bit about what you're experiencing right now?
Well, thank you. Yes, we are in a challenge. Wow. We're in a test. This is a test of our faith, because my whole thing is built on faith, but we're in a test of our faith and our beliefs, our leadership skills, our character. Let me just tell you a little story. Walgreens acquired Dwayne Reed, and they just closed 200 stores, and they're going to be closing more. Of those 200 stores, 50 of those stores were my locations. So that's a big challenge. I am no longer in 50 stores. They're getting them out quickly. Did I cry? For a minute, I did. For a minute, but you got to get over it quickly, because these tests, I think all these tests are admission to entrepreneurship, to your leadership. It's a part of the admission fee, I call it. Well, the manufacturers are closed now, so there's no manufacturing. So your supply chain is closed. The boutiques, the hair salons, they're closed. So there's no chain, there's no supply chain, and there's no products. I mean, we do have some products left in our shelves, of course, but once those are gone, we're totally out of business until things open up. So that's a huge challenge for us.
So what are you doing about that? I know that's a huge challenge, and there's it's obvious. All these stores are closing, or they just have limited hours, and staffing is being affected by it. What is your brand, your company trying to do to deal with the situation that you're in right now?
Well, what we're doing is, I guess what everybody is trying to do, we have a product, and if you have a service you can do, we've gone online. We were online, we've been online, but we never really focused on it because we were so busy with the stores. 50
Absolutely.
stores, everything is relative. That was a lot of stores for Vera Moore Cosmetics to do them efficiently, effectively, because there's a lot of demands from major conglomerates. Mass market is not easy. It's very, very difficult. So I really didn't have a true focus on my online, but now, we've had to pivot. We've had to switch. We have to, so that's what we're doing. We're focusing on our marketing, our online. We're going to start doing a skincare series on the line. My daughter's a licensed esthetician, Consuela. And we're going to start doing entrepreneurship series online. We can do podcasts. There's so many things that we can do online. So we're really focusing on that. And we're going to try to do some collaborations with other entrepreneurs, so we can do things online with them. So I'm going to do this. It's going to be extremely difficult, but I call entrepreneurship self-inflicted pain. It's a risk. This is something that I love. So the online we have to just step up. I might even put in a hand sanitizer. I don't know. Because you have to. Well, listen, I used to sell hand sanitizer 20 years ago at hospitals. So that's hand sanitizer is not new to me. My brand was called Happy Hands.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, but you can't do everything, So at some point you have to focus. So it wasn't big enough for us to do. The orders were bigger than the buying the product. We didn't get enough orders, so we didn't do it. So that's a possibility. Or I might just focus on what I'm doing. As far as retail, we will not do retail. I was in retail for 25 years in Green Acres Mall. I prefer wholesaling. I prefer, working smart, not so hard. We're still working hard, but it's on a different level. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what we're doing now. And I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited about technology now. We didn't have it then, but now look at us now. Suppose there was no internet. I wouldn't see your beautiful faces. So it's going to be extremely difficult. I'm not making it like it's not, but I find the good. I have to find the good. No matter what, I have to find the good. So that's what we're doing.
Awesome.
That's definitely awesome. And I think, for all of us, we went through a lot of stages of denial. Is this really happening? What do I do? When are we going to go back? And now it's just, we're still living through this, this pain. So I want to jump over to the Fit Doc because she's not only is living through the pain, she's a healthcare professional. She's a COVID-19 survivor. And you are still on the front lines. I mean, I watch you on social media. Through COVID, you are still inspiring people, which is amazing. So please share with us and our audience about your challenges and what you're experiencing and what's next for the business.
Okay. So 31 days ago today is when I experienced my first symptom for COVID-19. And this is day number 11 of my recovery. It's been a real big challenge because I'm a business owner, I'm a physician, a daughter, a mom, a wife. And you just bundle that all into this body, it's a lot to already have to accomplish. And then you throw COVID-19 and then throw in the fact that I got COVID-19. It's been hectic. And I'm not going to say it wasn't easy. I too am like Vera. I say these tests are blessings because there are so many people who, one, wish they might have gone to medical school, who might wish that they wanted to have their own practice or their own business, might have wished that they had children, might have wished that they were a mom. And I have these things, but everything is not without a sacrifice, without prayers, without tears, without hard work. And through each of those aspects of me, I think having COVID-19 actually made me stronger and a lot more determined because I see that right here on Long Island, right next to my Garden City office is Hempstead. And Hempstead has the highest percentage of people who have contracted, or I really want to say documented cases rather, have contracted COVID-19. And the reason why I say documented, because I know so many people who were afraid to go get tested or suspected that they had it. And when they would go to wherever to get tested, be it urgent care, be it their private doctor's office, be it the emergency room, they were turned away. So we will never truly know how many people have been affected by this. Because I just read something today where they're saying that the first real case on Long Island was in February, the beginning of February, out by Stony Brook University with someone who had traveled from China. So we're learning more each day, but at the same time, we're here right now with this problem. So for me, and with FitDoc and with MS Family Medicine, it makes me more determined to make sure that people, all people in general, become healthier, but especially brown and Black people, because they are the ones who were hardest hit on Long Island here. If we look at totally Long Island, it's Brentwood. So between those two communities, we all need to be healthier because right now with the comorbidities of hypertension, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, not being at healthy weight, asthma, all of those things contribute to the increased likelihood that if you contracted COVID-19, it would be a very severe case. And when I say severe case, I'm talking about being admitted to the hospital, being on oxygen, perhaps being on a ventilator. The bad outcome is death. So we're seeing a lot of death here. We're seeing losses, be it deaths, be it financial losses, being people who have to close their businesses and not even restart whenever this pause is over. But as a physician, I need everyone to be healthier. And it doesn't matter if you have hypertension or diabetes right now. Now is the time to get it in order. Otherwise, you're going to be at an even greater loss because it's happening at an unnecessary rate. And we all have to do our share to become healthier.
Thank you for sharing.
Agreed. Yeah, I agreed. And I have to tell you, that's the thing that could freak a lot of people out and Dr. Reed actually is my doctor who took care of me. when I got COVID-19 myself. And I actually call it my very, very, very bad birthday because I got it the day after my birthday. So, and the key thing is, the quite honestly, is that I was so scared. One, I got all the symptoms that you can even imagine for 2.5 weeks. But as a business owner, I'm already freaking out because of what's going on with the businesses, and things are closing, and I can't do this and I can't do that in my studio. What am I going to do? But now I'm physically unable to pivot. I'm physically unable to think and to rearrange things and to come up with a strategy to make something work because I am completely down for the count. So there are probably some entrepreneurs, some female, some women entrepreneurs going through the same thing, which makes things 10 times worse, makes it 10 times worse. So I think now, if we could shift over, I'd love to hear from Jamie, because Jamie is new to the game. She's a new entrepreneur. She has a DJ business, so she's always known, the business of being an entrepreneur. But, as far as having a brick and mortar and, running that type of business, why don't you give us a little bit of, how this has affected Bold & Boss?
So I will say that, one, I have to kind of just talk about, to start, I actually was sick as well, but my physician wasn't as brave as Michele, who actually took patients. So they told me, because you have symptoms, you either have to go to urgent care or to the hospital because we're not seeing patients. So I couldn't just determine whether or not I had it or not. I did have symptoms and I wasn't well for a month, but I am feeling better. And during that time, I actually had to just take a pause and take care of myself. So I didn't get a chance to initially do that pivot and kind of figure out steps as this was unfolding. But for me, for Bold & Boss, it's really like grand opening, grand closing. We had our soft launch in June of 2019, where we opened our retail brick and mortar. Step back, we started online in April of 2018. Yesterday was our anniversary. And we moved to the brick and mortar because we did have a local population who wants to touch and feel our items. Because we work with women who are struggling from hair loss, a lot of times they do that business in person. You want to put a face to the name. You want to trust the person that you're working with to help you with your situation. So that's why we started, we opened the brick and mortar. But after the June 2019 soft grand opening, we went and did our big grand opening in December 2019 and had this big, great plan to really ramp things up for the spring and really just be up and running and moving forward. And this happened, COVID happened. So we were pretty much at a pause. What I've been doing is really shifting focus and moving back to the digital landscape where we started, but still not giving up on the brick and mortar, but we're paused and there's really not much I can do there. But it's devastating and it's hard, but as I think through the why as to why I started my business, why I believed in it to begin with, that's what kind of keeps me going. And the fact that we do have the online platform, and I know at some point they've got to do something with our country. We can't all just stay in the house forever. Something will happen and we'll be able to move forward. What that looks like after this, that today, I don't know. But I definitely can say I won't give up on the brand. I will not give up on the product, because even while we sit in the house, people still want to look good.
They still want to look good, exactly. Now you said Bold & Boss is paused. The brick and mortar is paused as in it may reopen, or you're going to completely shift things.
We're just paused, where we haven't given up our location.
Okay.
We can't take clients at the moment. Initially, what we were doing was we were taking pickups and doing drop-offs, but as I got more ill, I needed to just go lay down.
Exactly.
And you have to know that during this time and during entrepreneurship as a whole, that's okay. You are going to face some challenges and be tested like you have never been tested before, and you will need to make some decisions, and whatever you decide, it's okay, and you will be okay. And if anyone judges you or has anything but support for you, then they're not for you. And if you need to know anything, is that the ladies on this call, this platform today, we support you, whatever happens.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's all about.
Thank you. And thank
Yeah.
you. And our Legalnista.
Yes.
So a lot of people are, seeing the PPP and the DBIL and all the that are out there, and you're emailing, texting people, telling them to apply, and people's heads are exploding. They don't know what to do. We're seeing money running out. Please, share your expertise and some suggestions for everyone, and what you do, how you make magic on your end.
So
Yeah, show us the money.
so,
A whole lot of money.
a whole lot of money.
Uh,
So, as all the entrepreneurs, I'm sure on this call know, and anybody listening knows, that capital and access to capital is really a challenge for small businesses. And there was legislation called the CARES Act. And what everyone has seen and heard about is money that the federal government offered through the Small Business Association, or the SBA. And so there was an initial infusion of cash that began around mid-March. And it was 2 loans, but that money ran out. It was during that time, it became my personal mission to call anybody within the sound of my voice and say, file for that PPP loan, file for that PPP loan. And what I found was that it was the smaller businesses that were a little hesitant, a little skittish, a little skeptical, and they kind of wanted to sit back and wait for it. But meanwhile, when I sat in with meetings, I saw all the larger businesses and all the and majority-owned businesses jumping for that money, which made me call all of my contacts and say, apply for this money, do it now. One of the main points of these of some of the programs offered through the SBA was that it was like you hear in a commercial, while supplies last. So the money was only available until it lasted, and then the musical chairs, the music stopped, and everybody sat down, and who stood up with some of the larger companies that you're hearing about in the news, like Chris and some of the other large, although they fit the definition under the SBA, which is 500 employees or less, they were the ones that got the capital and got the maximum amount of capital. So breaking news, the president just signed a bill just hours ago, reauthorizing the act and putting an additional infusion of cash back into the programs. So I've been getting emails from different banks and different clients asking questions because it's anticipated that the lending will continue. So the Small Business Association offers two types of products. One is new to the Small Business Administration offerings. The Small Business Association has always offered loans to small businesses, but the one that everyone's heard about is called the PPP, the Payroll Protection Act. This allows small businesses, which is defined as in a business of 500 employees or less, to get up to $1 million, $10 million.
I was about to say, sign me up.
No. Based on a formula that involves the calculation of the number of employees in the business times a particular multiplier. And that money can be used to maintain employees on your payroll, even though there may not be any business, and to take care of certain expenses like utilities, like rent or mortgage interest. And that loan, which is can be 100% forgivable, 100% forgivable, is open to LLCs, corporations, not-for-profit, and even independent contractors. So if you receive what's called a 1099, you are eligible for the Payroll Protection Program loan. And then there's another program called the EIDL, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, that can provide up to $2 million in funding, but that is a loan that's repayable, but there's a grant attached to it that would give employers $1,000 per employee, or up to a maximum of $10,000. And that money, that $1,000 to $10,000, does not have to be repaid, even if you don't qualify for the loan that is attached to that. So those are two programs, and get it together, apply for that funding. The Payroll Protection Act, the first program that I spoke about, is granted through a bank. So you have to apply to a bank, and the SBA gave the money to the banks, and the banks loan it to the small businesses.
I see. The so you mentioned that the government just agreed to release some more funding for one of the programs, correct?
Yes.
If you already applied to it, do you need to reapply? Because I know at first it was first come, first serve. So now there was a cutoff. So now that there's new funding, do you need to reapply, or do we continue on to the first come, first serve as it was?
So the money is still going to be first come, first serve. So if you've already applied, so you're like already online to receive this money. But it depends on what stage you were in the process. There's a dual stage process. You'll apply to your bank, and then your bank takes the application and submits it to the SBA. So if you receive an SBA loan number, that means you're virtually approved for the loan. If you receive that number and you already submitted an application to the bank, once the funds continue to be released, if funds are available, you will be entitled to that loan. So you don't have to reapply again. You might want to consider looking at other resources and other banks, because what happened is during this period of time, some of the fintech companies like PayPal and Quicken came into the game, and they're now also offering the PPP loan as well. And sometimes it's the smaller banks that might loan the money quicker than some of the larger banks, because they're larger, they have more clients.
Bigger clients, yeah.
Bigger clients, and so you can shop around. Once you get the SBA number, that means you're entitled to that loan, and you shouldn't submit for and get two numbers from the SBA.
That's another question. So as far as the PPP program is concerned, right? I do know it covers, or it can help you. You can get up to $10,000, and it's depending on your employees, as well as rent and utilities and things like that, to hopefully keep things going. Correct?
Well, it's you said see, you did the same thing I did. $10 million.
I did say 10 million. I had 10,000.
So the breakdown of it is, of the entire loan amount, you can only use, so 75% of that loan amount has to be used for your payroll and employees. The additional 25% can be used toward rent, utilities, mortgage interest, and a part of the statute also says any other debt that existed prior to the pandemic. But you can only use 25%. And because I've seen other people, on social media saying, hey, free money, use this to start investing in property. No, you have to use this money it's called the Payroll Protection Program. And there will be people hired by the SBA to do some compliance to ensure.
Right, auditing, yeah.
Yes, and the banks took themselves out, that they're not responsible for making sure the money is being used for its intended purposes. Exactly. The onus is on the employer to make sure the money is used for those intended purposes. Absolutely. So you have to be able to establish that you have used that money toward payroll, rent, utilities, business-related expenses.
And as far as payroll is concerned, does it matter if the staff is a full-time employee versus a 1099 or freelance?
Yes, it does. If you have 1099 freelance employees, you cannot apply for those 1099 freelance employees. The idea behind that was because they wanted to ensure that the money actually went into the hands of those 1099 employees, which is why 1099 employees are actually able to apply on their own. And which is one of the challenges behind this, because now you put a 1099 employee in the same pot with, again, some of the larger companies like Ruth Chris and Shake Shack. And so those are some of the people that are maybe least likely to apply for the loan, because they may not know what information to submit, or may not have all the information needed to submit for the loan.
So the other I received today, Shar, is that you can apply for two. So this came from SBA Goods and Services. I graduated from their program. They sent me an email this afternoon. Some of the compliance. One is the W-2 employees, and then two is the 1099 employees. You can't count yourself in the 1099 employees, but you have the 1099. It can be you plus two other 99 independent contractors, and that will qualify you for the loan. So that just came down to from the small goods and services of New York City. They shared that information with me this afternoon. So I think this is fluid and keeps changing every time you turn a corner, because every small business is in kind of, entrepreneur, that kind of, world, that kind of life. We don't have 20 W-2 employees. Number one, they can't even afford it. And then the 1099 employees that you do have, it may only be 1 to 3.
Right.
I was happy to get that update, but again, just came down from, they sent us a notice this afternoon, today, right with that information. So I was hear about that. So
yeah.
Right. So if you look at the trajectory of this bill and this legislation, it was put out so fast that they didn't even know. And so, as you said, there was different guidance issued each day and week, and each day and week, the interpretations have changed. With the second infusion of cash, they realized that the one size didn't fit all, because the original intention was to make sure that hey, the 1099 contractors might get the short shrift, because if they're no longer working for that employer would get the pocket the money. But now you have a lot of small businesses saying, hey, on the other hand, I'm a business of one, or I'm a business that I have seasonal employees, or I'm a business that I have independent contractors, and that's how I run my business. So I need them to maintain. So they backtracked and they opened the door to allow that to happen.
Right.
Yes. It's ever changing. It's ever changing.
I was going to say,
I believe that.
Yeah, I was going to say, but we were also talking about like challenges. So for me, the challenge was having to practice, getting sick, and then trying to get all the paperwork together. That's like the perfect storm right there. And so by the time we submitted everything, we're still waiting back because our banker said that he received everything, but now they have the long line of people. So as a physician, we get paid on what we see. So throw on top of the fact that I got sick, the other provider got sick, the office had to shut down and not see any patients. So regardless of the fact that I did have the telemedicine prior to, COVID-19, I couldn't do anything from my room. I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't listen to music. Using my phone bothered me as far as reading emails and text messages. All I could do was just lay there in bed. So work still needed to be done. Money still needed to be made. But then now I apply, and now it's just a sit and waiting game. So I know I'm not the only one that's also caught up in that aspect. But at the same time, yes, it's a test. But the blessing is that we do have the telemedicine. So gradually I can start to go back. But I lost 4 weeks of income. I have staff. So I can't go up to them and say, you know what, we were closed. Yeah, we were all sick. 4 of us had COVID. My staff doesn't care because they're just like everybody else. They have bills. And I'm also very grateful for them because some of them were trying to tough it out and to do their best because they too, even though they don't have a business, MS Family is a family. So when one hurts, we all hurt. So it's a lot. It's a lot for us all to go through. And I don't think sometimes people realize how much as an entrepreneur you have to go through. So if you look at Jamie always looks all fly. I'm thinking like, you know what? I haven't been able to go get my hair done in a while. I might have to go buy Jamie. Or Jamie might have to ship me something. You know, I can't necessarily buy my favorite blush, and I think I'm missing some highlighter or something like that, Tamara told me. I don't know, Miss Vera. But I might have to say, I need to get me some Vera Moore products. I'm definitely not taking any more pictures right now until we get this straight. But it's like, you know, there's so many aspects that when you see each of us, that people don't realize that what it takes to get that total package together.
Yes.
Agreed. I mean, when you think of just women business owners, we all have gifts, right? And we all have gifts that, you know, really could benefit each other, you know? So pretty much everybody on this call, like we touch each other, we find ways of working together. And it's hard when our businesses are suffering because we now have to figure out how to stay afloat and how to maintain, you know? So the staffing issue is a really big issue, you know? I mean, you love these people, they become part of your family, okay? And then you have to give them the bad news that, you know, you can't pay them. You can't, it's not the norm. It's a new norm for a short period of time, but that's pretty painful to listen to or to even say, right? So I'm glad that there's, you know, obviously, thank you for sharing, Charlane, for everybody who's watching, you know, what is out there, what are the options, and, you know, the do's and don'ts, and the move really fast to get in there, because you got to get in it to win it. But otherwise someone else is going to get in front of you on the line. But, you know, just to shift a little bit also is, you know, that's a good Band-Aid for now, which we all need. What are we doing in terms of that pivot? What is the major change that we're doing so that we can at least keep it going? So you talk about telemedicine, which is fantastic, and it's a great tool to have so that you can at least keep your patients and, you know, keep seeing your patients and keep something going on with your business, which is fantastic. Jamie and Vera also, you know, Jamie, you talk about using the power of the internet now to more so now to sell products. So, you know, are you doing anything differently than you were before in order to do that, being that, you know, you're on pause at your store, you know, now you have time now you have all this energy to put towards the internet. Like, what kind of strategies or ideas are you doing on the internet to make a difference? I think you're muted.
We've been doing Zoom consultations for one. So for women who see something online that they're interested in and they want to look good while they're home because they have Zoom meetings to show up to, we've been doing that. We're also planning a major digital campaign. So I've been building content, taking pictures, dressing up when I don't feel like it. And just for me, it's getting comfortable being uncomfortable, because believe it or not, I hate being on camera. I hate speaking. And it's just something that I have to do in order to keep my brand alive. So that's really the shift, because for me, initially I was trying to kind of be behind the scenes and, okay, Bold and Boss is Jamie, but, you know, you'll see me here and there because I'm running the business and I'm running other businesses. But no, now it's really getting in front of the camera, getting in front of the people, and putting my face with the brand and just doing things that make me uncomfortable, like being on Zoom and you know, and doing Zoom consultations with people who are across the world. Like, I had a woman that called me from California because we popped up in our social media feed from a hashtag. Like, the power of the internet is dynamic, and I've learned that I'm kind of filling in the gaps. I had a minute to do a gap analysis and determine, okay, you know what, Jamie, you do this well and you don't do this so well. So it's just kind of filling in those pieces and making sure that we do the right thing going forward.
Thank you. And I was gonna say we're making you do both, be on camera and speak. So, thank you, Lady Moguls.
Thank you for having me.
But yes, and the thing about, you know, the digital world, you know, it's what it is, and it's a passion for a lot of people, and a lot of people figured it out. Consistency is key. I can't even say that more. You have to be very creative in what you put out there, but you have to keep repeating. You have to keep posting. You have to keep, because the more they see you, the more you become top of mind, right? And the more you'll be able to get the lady in California that you don't even know, you know, and that happens. And that's a key word that you said, or key phrase that you said. You just happen to show up on her feed. You know, but if you weren't consistent the way you are, it wouldn't have happened. You understand? So Vera
Yes.
Moore Cosmetics. So you're a digital world. So you shifted. So you're doing direct to consumer right now, okay? Because you more so now, correct?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, on the digital world. So talk to me a little bit more on what you're doing in terms of sales and increasing sales through digital.
Well, as I said before, we weren't really focused on online sales, but now we are. But we're going to stretch it a little more. We're going to do a series on wellness and skincare. My daughter's a licensed esthetician for almost 15 years. We can do a series on entrepreneurship. That 40 years of experience, I'm sure I can share something with someone. The ups and downs and the challenges. And, I just thank God because we've always had integrity. And it's about the brand. It's about the brand, and the character is the brand. So we always inspired. When we first started in '79, why did I do that? It was avoid the market for people of color, for Black people. I said Black people because that's where my focus was really. And we always inspired our employees and motivated them to know our mission, and that's really important, so that we could eventually achieve our vision. That was really important to us, and it carried through. And we respected them, they respected us, we inspired them, we motivated them, and that internal branding with your employees transferred to the consumer. That's why we were able to survive all these years and competing with major conglomerates. We don't have deep pockets, but I've been on the same set. I've been on the same set as Mac doing a movie. You understand my point? It's about that brand. Growing that brand. How did I get on Dr. Oz? That brand, Here and Now. It was always because of the brand, and we never lost the integrity of the brand. I was telling people in 1979, in the 70s, Black is beautiful. And Dr. Reed knows what I'm talking about because she knows Tamara, right?
That's right.
And I used to say, they'd come up to me in Green Acres Mall, Vera, do you have something for me? I'm dark. Now, this is a true story. And that's why I focused on my brand for people not looking like Dr. Reed, because she could go, if she wanted to, still go to the department store and find something for her. Because of the complexion. We know we're like God's bouquet of flowers. You understand my point? Ivory to ebony. But the pitch black person like Whoopi Goldberg or Lupita, what's her name? Lupita? The actress and Viola Davis. They didn't have that. So that's where the void was when I was on television. The lines that they had out there, oily, greasy, red, etc. But I wanted something soft. National television, I didn't want it rubbing all over my clothes. And that's why we're talking about risk and entrepreneurship. I mortgaged my home in the 70s to get into Green Acres Mall. That was serious. You don't pay that back, they're taking your house. Now, I'm not suggesting I do that now, but you understand I was so passionate about it. And I know. This is the way my brand survived. Because we did something no other company did. Even though there was a major company out there, you guys know who I'm talking about. Not mentioning any names. Perfect finish. Okay. But mine wasn't red or and I wanted something quality. And people saw the difference, and they still saw to this day. We get people, my grandmother told me about you here, Miss Moore. This is the true story. So we're gonna make it. It's going to be very difficult, but we're going to make it because we built a brand of integrity and respect. It's not a brand because you have a name on the pen and you're stationary. That's all. You understand what I'm saying? We built a brand, the character of the brand, and share that with your employees. They believe you, you inspire them, you motivate them. And that's those traits transfer to the customer. I said, no, that is not a mole, that's a blackhead. You need to clean your skin. And that's how we survived. Because no one was teaching Black women at the time. Now, the shoe doesn't fit. I don't want anybody calling me, don't wear it. But a lot of people didn't have a regimen. They didn't know about cleansing, toning, moisturizing, exfoliant. See, we did that on Jamaica Avenue, 168th Street. My husband is a licensed esthetician for over 40, 50 years. So we were way ahead of our
My foundation. Everything else. Now, Vera, right now, challenging times, talk about the fact that we're pivoting, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention that you had a photo of Madam walking behind you.
Oh, yes. Well, that photo was given to me as a gift. I was a recipient of an award. We all are recipients of many awards. And I admired her tremendously. And you mentioned something to me today that, we know that she started creating this during the Spanish
She
pandemic.
during the Spanish flu pandemic.
And that's 100 years ago. What's that, 1918 or something? Yeah. So she always inspired me. It was a struggle. It was very difficult. When I first started, there were no Black people in Green Acres Mall. There was no Black vendors. It was very difficult for me. That's why it took me 3 years to get in. Matter of fact, I'm doing a book. All that's going to be in it. It was very difficult. What's your credibility? They knew I didn't have any credibility. I didn't have any money, but I knew there was a void. I lived in Laurelton, and I wanted to be in there. I wanted to be in that mall. They were renovating it, and I took the risk. And they really looked at me like I'm crazy. Well, that's why they put me on the second floor. They thought I was going to say no. It was the food court when they promised me the first floor. They waited 3 years to hear. Yes, I was supposed to be on the first floor. Then they changed management. They changed management, so they changed the rules. They always change the rules.
Yeah.
But I stood fast. So when I, change management, you can't be on the first floor, Miss Moore. We can revisit this at another time. I said, no, we're not revisiting this. Well, you have to go on the second floor. The second floor is food court. French fries and lipstick, not a great match. But guess what? I broke the color barrier. For your children, your grandchildren, to get in that mall, if they want to. Somebody has to be the trailblazer. Madam C.J. Walker. So I'm very excited about it, and I know it's going to work out. If we all unite, and the core is to help each other, we're going to make it.
Yeah,
we are.
But you know what? You talk about getting into the Green Acres Mall. That takes vision, and a lot of people right now are sitting home and they are thinking about their 9 to 5. They're not there. They have been penning and jotting down different notes. We're all creative people and we stepped out on faith to create and launch a business. But there's people at home who have other, have businesses inside of them. So Charlane, how can they contact you and what can you do to help them? Because, they can easily go online and, submit for a partnership or business certificate or LLC. But I think, they're missing a few pieces there.
Right. So thank you for that. And one thing that all entrepreneurs have in common is that they're creative, and it's sort of operating on that right-hand side of the brain and sparking into that creativity. But it's important to have a strong legal foundation. And so one of the things is I offer a legally fit coaching program for that person that has the idea and the concept, but they don't know how to execute it and bring it to life. So we work through them ensuring that they have a name and how to protect their name and their brand and their identity, and how to start to create the foundations of what's called their intellectual property. We help them explore the different business structure options to pick the right structure for them, making sure that they document and maintain all of their corporate and business, if it is a corporation, business documents, because when it's times like this, when you need to apply for a loan, you always hear that, and you're a sole LLC and you don't have an operating agreement, now you don't qualify for that loan. It's very important to do those things and to have that foundation now. So I love working with clients in the infancy stages, in the growing stages, but that's where I can help people and help people understand the process. You can do it yourself, but there are a lot of things that you have to understand and consider. And I would say, if you do it yourself, you get do-it-yourself results. And sometimes one size doesn't fit all when you have businesses, and each business is different and unique in its own way.
Exactly. Do you have an email address where people can reach out to you?
Yes. So I can be
DM.
on Instagram at Legalnista. You can direct message me, or my email address, cbrown@cbrolaw.com, cbrown@cbrolaw.com.
Fantastic. Thank you. So I think we're going to wrap up now. Jamie, of course, we all want to look fabulous and be fabulous, whether it's just for ourselves at home for now. Wake up in the morning, it's like, I think I want to be bold and boss today.
Do a don't rush challenge.
Exactly. Do the don't rush challenge. Exactly. Change it up a little something. So tell everyone how they can get in touch with you, get in touch with your products, and be bold and fabulous.
Bold and Boss, we can be reached on Instagram and Facebook at Bold and Boss. Also online at boldandboss.com. And for those of you who are into music, I am a DJ, and I'm hosting Sunday's Best, which is an online show focused on gospel, R&B, and smooth jazz. Sunday, and that's on the I Am Miss Chew platform.
Want to talk about inspiration? Inspirational. You're fantastic.
That is it. That is definitely it. So, Fit Doc, tell everyone how they can get in touch with you and on the family practice aspect of things, and also Fit Doc, just your whole fitness, your drive to get people physically fit, mentally fit, sexually fit, the whole thing.
Just fit.
Just fit.
Oh gosh. I mean, especially now in these times, I mean, you do need to be fit in all aspects. And with all of us that have been on this call, I think the main focus for us is to spiritually fit. And I think that our faith in God and our trust in Him is probably and more than likely 100% what got us to this point where we are right now. So that's something that we even talk about at our retreats, where we have ministers who come in and they pray and they also do the spiritual aspect for us. So, I mean, all of that is key. But you can reach me, Dr. Michele Reed, at fitdoc.com. So it's Dr. Michele at fitdoc.com. And if you want to follow me on Facebook and Instagram, it's the same name, Fit Doc Michele with one L, Reed, R-E-E-D with two E's. So that's Fit Doc Michele Reed. And for Twitter, it's the same, except it's Fit Doc Michele R. And as far as MS Family Medicine, believe it or not, and this is real life, my website has a virus. Can't make this stuff up.
Are you kidding me?
I'm dead serious. I am dead serious. So just to show how we are all connected, I met Charlane through Donyshia. It hasn't even been a year yet because we met at Essence last year. So Charlane, just to show I really trust my people, Charlane is helping us get going, and she's the taskmaster and making sure that the website gets back up and going, because Dr. Reed is almost recovered from this virus, and so does the website. But in the meantime, if you need to reach MS Family, the phone lines are still open and working. So 516-794-2200. That's 516-794-2200. And we are voice over internet, so you can reach either location by dialing the same number. And we welcome everyone. And my main thing is, like, right now with what we're experiencing, if this does not change you to want to be healthier in all aspects of your life, I don't know what will. Talking to some people who've gone through COVID-19, that is a true testimony of how you develop and strengthen your relationship with God. And people I've talked to, even some of my staff, have said that, you know what, we had a come to Jesus moment. We thought we were religious before, but, you know, God felt that, you know, He wants you to toughen up a little bit. And I think we can all testify that that's part of, you know, what you go through as a business owner. So let's get healthy together. Start doing some type of physical activity, indoor, outdoor. Indoor, you can turn on and you can listen to one of my favorite DJs, Miss Chew. and she does requests on Sundays. So tune in. And then the other thing is, when you exercise, you start to lose weight, you tighten up, and then guess what? You'll get back in touch with Tricia and get your pictures done. But you'll hit up Miss Vera first to get the makeup. And then that way, we're going to be ready for one of these big events that Lady D likes to plan, because she's going to be back walking with us soon. But she's doing her exercise virtually, so each of you should do the same thing.
I like the way you packaged us all together.
It's wonderful.
That was beautiful.
You want me to start rapping
Thank
too?
you.
I can
That
rap.
was fantastic. You're so funny. Thank you for that. Thank you. Vera, can you remind everyone how they can get in touch with you and your products?
Yes, they can get me at veramoorecosmetics.com or Instagram at Vera Moore Cos. If you want to call me, 516-367-6538.
I hope that's not your cell phone number.
No, that's not my cell phone number.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, you are brave.
I'm sorry?
I was going to say, you are brave.
Well, it's okay.
Brave.
Yeah. No, with all the, the phone calls that we get with, how do they call them? The
Spam.
The spam, the calls that we get, it's just ridiculous. It gets crazy. So I will let you know that as far as, Toddlewood and TMEZZ Creative Group, for anything photography related with models or products or whatever it is, as well as video content, commercials and so on and so forth, you can reach me. My website is TMEZZcreative.com. That's TMEZZ creative.com. My email address is TMEZZ@TMEZZcreative.com. That's TMEZZ. And as far as Toddle is concerned, just follow us on Instagram at Toddlewood, TODDLEWOOD. I miss all my Toddlewood kids. I miss you so much. I miss all the hugs and the Miss Tricia this and Miss Tricia that and just all that fun. So hopefully very, very soon we'll be back in the studio shooting and coming up with some great creations together. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, I echo those sentiments, Trish. And I tell you, I can't wait for this COVID to be over, because I changed my portfolio and made it 70% events after going through the government shutdown. So now I'm just pivoting and shifting again with Keeper and Marketing Agency. So we have Toddlewood, we had Dinner en Blanc, we had Essence Music Festival. So heavy live events portfolio for us over the last 2 years. And then COVID hits, right? So I gave up a little bit on the digital, just focusing on and branding. But again, you have to pivot back. We also do a lot of staffing. So events and staffing is something we can't do right now. So what do we do? But make that change. And I'm excited that I've launched 2 businesses for my children, Kelly's Dollhouse and Keith Zone. And then also, focusing on just expanding the digital brand for us and working with more intensely with our digital clients, beefing up our RFP process again, promotional items, you name it. When you say marketing, it's the full package. And we're going to keep pushing forward, because that's all we can do. I know no other way right now. So we will all come out on the other side of this healthier, more successful, and bigger Lady Moguls than when we started. And so thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We are, again, just hearing your stories are so inspiring, and I hope it has inspired our viewers and our folks that are out there in the world just feeling isolated, feeling alone, and for them to know that there are other businesswomen out there that are walking in the same footsteps that they are experiencing now. I think that will mean a lot to people. So again, my name is Donyshia Boston-Hill. I'm along with Tricia Messeroux, and this is a Lady Mogul production. We thank you all for your time, and we will see you on our next episode.